Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So I'm going to be working in the Shabbydashery journal today. I've sort of nearly finished one of them, one of the signatures, and I've still got these two to do, but I'm going to just finish this one off today. I'll show you what I've been doing in it. I will probably only be able to fit in 2 signatures into here. So I'm gonna finish filling up all 3 of the signatures, because then I can make a smaller journal with the last signature, because I think this one is going to be a little bit bigger than I intended it to be. But I should have waited, shouldn't I, to do my cover, but never mind. So I'm going to pop the cover to the side actually for a second. So in this one, this is the first signature. We did, what did I do? I did a fabric page, didn't I, on one of them, which I am loving, which I've just popped. I'll put the video down below anyway. It's in the playlist as well, the Shabbydashery journal bits and pieces. I've got a playlist anyway. So what I've done, I've just done this little cluster of fabric here, and I've attached it, instead of sewing it on or anything, I've just attached it with safety pins. So it can sort of like be taken off, but I just think that looks really, really nice. So I will probably just find something and just pop that inside like that. So then you can sort of like move the pocket around wherever you want it to be, which I thought was quite nice. And then I've just sort of like tucked in 2 of my lovely big pins in there, which I might actually add. Shall I add a little bit of fabric to that? Do you think that would look quite nice? What we got in here? Got a piece of netting. That's a piece of netting. Let's have a look. Look, I've got this lovely shiny on here. Oh, let me just show you quickly before I forget. Oh, I don't even know what I've done with them now. Let's have a look. Here they are. This is what I bought the other day when I was out on Friday. Look at this. This is beautiful. These are some beautiful flowers. Look at that. They got little sequins on. Now these were quite expensive. They were in a haberdashery in Faro, here in Albufeira. Not in Albufeira, here in Portugal. And they are beautiful. So I've got like a pinky one, and this is sort of like a browny taupey sort of colour, and they are beautiful. I only got a metre of it because it was very expensive, and I also got some more tulle as well, which I'm loving. So let's have a look. I've got a little bit of lace here. Shall we just sort of like, because this you can sort of like pin things on, do you know what I mean? I just think they're lovely. So let's just pin that up and down like that, push that in. There we go. That looks really nice. So if you've got sort of like little fabricy bits, I think they make sort of like nice little embellishments, don't they? I think I showed you this as well. This was just like a little bit off the cover that I made. Added a little hook and eye on there as well, a little bit on there, little pin on there with a little bit of lace. This is one of my hearts that I did a little while ago, and I've just sort of like hand sewn that on here with a little bit of blanket stitch. So that's a nice little pocket to pop something into. This one is just some, what's it called, pattern paper. It's pattern paper that I've just made into a pocket, stitched a little bit on here. I've got one of my Stitching Time little words and phrases from the kit, added a little bit on there, little button. So that's a nice little tuck spot, isn't it? Now on these as well, I've added just a little bit to my postcardy ones. So that just sits in there lovely. I've just added, the reason I added this to the top, because when I sewed it, I was going to change the stitch and it ripped the paper. It ripped it on here. You can see a little bit there. So I've just covered it up with that, but I think it looks really nice. So I've added a little bit onto each one of these as well. A little bit on there. but that looks nice. I'm not going to pop anything in them at the minute because we're still going. That's another little tag pocket that I made. Again, these fit the little postcard ones really, really lovely. And on the top of this, I've just popped one of the little poppers on there. I just glued that on, which I think looks really good. And then just a little clustery bit on there. That one I haven't put anything on. Whether I will, I'm not sure. This one is one of the Friday Freebies. And then, oops, I'm going to sneeze. That was out of the kit, I think. I think that was out of the kit. And then a little cluster here, one of my little yo-yo things that I made on there. This one I actually scanned in one of my little pattern papers on there and on here, and it came out really, really nice. So I'm tempted to put this. I don't think I can put this one because this might be copyright, but I might actually do some of the pattern papers as a kit, as like backing papers, because look at that. I think that looks really good, doesn't it? Loving it. And I've just added a little bit in there as an extra page. Oh my gosh, look, getting it all tangled up. And then on here I've just sewn on a little clip thing and one of the lovely little charms onto here, and that's just a little bit of scruffiness. This is a little pocket, which is lovely. This side I have made, this one was just a plain piece of the coffee stain paper, which I just did like a little stitch down the side, and I've made just like a little booklet, just a plain one. Just pop some bits of paper together. I'll probably make some of those as well in a minute. I'll just show you how. I'll make a few little bits and pieces on there. So I've just popped it over the edge of the paper, made a little paper clip with one of those beautiful little flowers on, and then I'm just going to clip that just on one side like that, just so that holds it on. And I'm loving that. Looks really good, doesn't it? And then this is the middle page, which I love. That's the little booklet with the stamps in, which is quite nice, isn't it? And then I've just done like that lovely tool that I bought, that really soft one. I popped that on as a little corner pocket, gathered it up and sewed on some little buttons. As I gathered it, I sewed the buttons on, so it sort of like wrinkles it up a little bit. And there's a little gem on there. Which I'm loving, and that just sits in there perfect. So I think I will do that on the inside, the middle of the other two signatures as well. Then I've just sewn a bit of tulle around there. Love it, absolutely love it. Oh, this is what I was going to do. This was one of the Friday freebies. Let's just do this a minute. I've got some, this is just some cheesecloth. And what was I going to do? I've forgotten what I was going to do now. I was going to put this on. I'm going to stick it down just two sides, and then just in case we want to have a little tuck of some sort. But I was going to pop this in there like that. And then I was going to fold that over. Shall I sew it or shall I just stick it? I might actually sew it onto there and then just wrinkle these little bits up like that. I just think that will look really nice. Maybe add a little bit of pink or something in there. Right, I'm going to do this quickly while I remember, before I get waylaid onto anything else. Let's just bring my sewing machine across. Let's see if you can see. Yes, perfect. Right, so all I'm going to do is going to just take this. I've got a little bit of this lovely lace in there, which I'm going to pop inside just to sort of sandwich it. Pop that down and just do a little stitch. You're not going to be able to see this because, you know, I've got brown cotton in here. So there we go. Quick and easy. Let's chop these little bits off. Like that. that out of the way, bring this back over, so that will sort of be hidden underneath, won't it? And then I'm going to just got my glue gun, and I will just sort of like glue gun that up, just to wrinkle it up just a little bit. What should I do? Should I stick it along this bit? Do you think I have enough glue in here? Just a little bit of glue gun, just to make sure it stays on properly. A bit lumpy bumpy underneath. Let me just, let's take this over here, flip that over, that's a little bit better, isn't it? Then I'm going to just, what did I say, just stick it down there, do you think? And then we've got maybe another little tuck spot in there, just in case. I'm going to glue gun this as well, because it's a little bit quicker, easier. Oopsie daisy. Make sure you keep the glue in the right place. So that can just stick on there, like that. Make sure you get rid of some of your glue. Just give it a little rub and it comes off. Is that straight? Sort of. And then we've got little tuck, but I love this. So this was the Friday freebie. Now if you're in the Facebook group and you didn't get these, pop over, because they're still in there. I just thought maybe we could just sort of stick this up. Should I just, a little bit of glue, and wrinkle that up just like that. There we go. What can I put on there? What have I got in my little pot here? Let's have a look. Oh, I've got this little flower. I do love these. Look, they just sparkle, don't they? Look at that. That's lovely. Or we could have a little bit of this lovely rose trim. I'm using the pinky one because I think it goes better. I think this pinky one goes better with this kit, doesn't it? So let's just, what should we have? 3. Just stick that on. Look at that. That looks really nice, doesn't it? A little bit of glue. I shall pop that on like that. So really this video is just to sort of like show you a few little bits and pieces that I'm doing. So if you're working on your journal, then hopefully this will give you a few ideas if you are still going. So what we're going to do, I'm going to pop that back in there. Let's turn that over. That looks really nice, doesn't it? I love that. Perfect. So again, like I say, we've got a little tuck spot in there. Lovely. Just a little pop of colour on there. Looks good, doesn't it? So I'm not sure about that page, whether we'll pop anything on there. I don't know. This side, I added sort of like those doilies that I brought the other day that I showed you. I just sort of like cut one in half and I've made it into sort of like a pocket. I've stuck it down. I added one of the little clustery bits that I made the other day, added a little bit of this to the bottom, but I have sort of like stuck it this bit. This is this bit that's stuck down. So this, well, it's stuck down, but this is sort of like the pocket bit. So then we can just fit one of these in there like that, which fits it perfect, which is lovely. Little bow on there. And then I've just sewn it to that, and then I've just stuck it on. So I'm loving it. So I think that looks really good. Okay, so this side I did a little sort of belly band on there, and I sewed on. Let me just take this off. If you can see, I've sewn on the little buttons I had a little bit of lace, and then I got this sort of like tulle with these sort of like little sequins on, which I've sewn over the top of it. One of those lovely little flowers. Another little button there, but this is quite bendy. So what I was thinking, I got this card in there. This is from the Friday freebie. I've got that in there, and it's a bit loose. So I was thinking maybe we could, if I add some fabric or something to the top, because I've sewed some tea stain paper onto the back, we could actually clip it to this with a little safety pin or something, couldn't we? And then it will stay in place. That's my thought, so I might try and do that. Let's just do that. What we got in here? Let's have a look, a little rummage through here. I only want a little bit. Well, that goes really well, doesn't it? Does that go well? Let's just rip this. What do you think? Put that underneath. What else have I got? A little bit of this. Let's just use what we've got. Don't want to cover that up. Maybe we'll go upside down. Should we go upside down? So if I sewed that along the top like that, and then we could just safety pin it, couldn't we, to the... What do you think? So we want to go from about here. In nice and messy. Oops. So that will sit on there, and then this will sit on there. Should we have that a little bit higher? Oops. What do you think? That looks really pretty, doesn't it? Should we just do that? Sew that on. Yes, we shall. Let's move these. And then we've got, this keeps popping up, doesn't it? Don't really want to put that on there because we've got these lovely roses on there. Okay, let's just bring this in, see if I can hold this straight. Can you see? Yeah. Because I don't want this, sometimes with belly bands, they do make things, if they're not tight, things do sort of like slip out, don't they? So I'm going to just quickly sew down there, if it will catch on there. Oops, just move it over. There we go. I'm just going to go down that side a little bit. Oops. Okay. Perfect. Tidy it up a little bit. I'm just going to go just down this side as well. Just to catch that little end bit. Oops, where's my little thing gone? There we go. Lovely. Pop that to the side. Just chop these little bits off. Now obviously, because it's sort of like a haberdashery sewing sort of journal, you can leave all these little threads hanging on there. I don't think it will really matter. But I'm not going to. I'm going to cut them off. let's just pop those on the floor. Okay, I'm going to cut a little bit off here, I think. There we go. Look at that. Oh, I quite like that. Do you think that's going to flop down? I might actually, let's just, going to just glue just a tiny bit, just on here, just a little bit on each little thing. There we go, just a tiny bit, just so it doesn't come through the other side. Perfect, lovely. Oh my gosh, look at all these little bits I've got everywhere. Okay, so then my thoughts then, that sits in there. Let's get a little safety pin. Might need a bigger one than this because this is quite small. But what I was just thinking, you can just pin that, if I can, to there, and then it's not going to just keep falling out. Look at that, that's my idea. There we go, love it. Maybe we could sort of like hang a little dingly dangly or something off there, but I think that looks really nice, so love that. Okay, so this one I've just paper clipped that on like that, and on the paper clip I've got my big paper clips, and I've just popped some fabric over there, a little bit of netting, and I've glue gunned one of these little popper things on there as well. So, and just pop that on there, just so that sort of like sticks out the top. Lovely. Nothing on this page yet, and I've got this one, and I've got this one. Oh, this one again, I've added the safety pins, so I haven't stuck it on, I've just done it as like a little tuck, so they fit in there, and that just clips over the top, so then you can just take that off, pin anything on there, which looks really nice, doesn't it? So love that. And then I made a belly band with the little tape measure that we had on there, which looks good, and this is one of the Friday freebies, so that can go in there. So I've got lots of the other embellishments that I need to cut out and make as well, but I'm just loving how this is coming along. I think it's really, really good. So I was thinking to put maybe a little, I don't want to cover up all of the pages. Obviously we need things to write on, so we can write on the back of that. We've got the postcards to go in here, we've got a postcard to go in there, that we can write on. We've got a little book to write in, we've got this one to write in as well, lots of little bits. So loving that, looks good, looks very good, really happy with it. But what should we pop on here? This, I'm just wondering on this page whether we could sort of like pin little samples of things, or even little flowers. Look at that. Just what I mean, we could just, I don't want to make it too thick though, that's the trouble. Where's my little pins? Okay, I've got my big pins, and then I've got these little ones. Which I suppose maybe it will probably be better with a quite like these big ones, because it's got paper in the middle. You shouldn't, it shouldn't be too bad for going through. There we go. It's only gone through the fabric, but look at that. I just think that looks really, really good. Let's take those out. What do we have? So if we could do like a little page tab on there, that's quite nice. Maybe I'll move that down to the bottom. That looks quite nice, doesn't it? Just a little, I like these where they've got little pins and stuff in them. They look really good. I'm going to move this down here, I think. Let's just pin this in and out if I can. There we go. Lovely. So what should we do? Shall I just glue that? I think I will just... Yeah, I'm going to glue the top of this bit. Just like that on there. Let's flip it over and then just glue this little bit. There we go. Look at that. That's lovely, isn't it? Fabulous. So again, like I said, you could sort of like pin little bits and pieces on here, little samples of stuff. Now that is the same on there, that little flower, so we don't really want that on there, do we? But I might sort of like, got these little bits as well, which I might sort of, because you could use it as like a little sampler one, couldn't you, like a page. Let's pop this on here. And I'm going to do this for now anyway. And then I can always come back and move things. Let's go through there. Look at that. Looks great, doesn't it? Love it. Okay. Lumps of cotton everywhere. That looks good. Now what I might do is, I think that's all I'm going to pop in this one for now. I've got that page, but we can always come back and add a few things. I'm going to show you how I made this, because this is quite simple. If I've got some postcards there. And I need something on there. But look, little samples of fabric on these fabric pages, I think look really, really good, don't they? And also that. Okay, let's start. Now we've done that one. Excuse me. Going to use this one. Now this is the one that I did, the very first one of the page, and I popped that on there, which I think I might keep on there because I like that. I think that's really nice. What is the middle page in here? Let's have a look. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so middle page, I'm going to use, let me get my little pot of things down here. Sure, I've got it in here. I'm going to use this one to make the pocket. Now I think I'll go from this side. So what as I did, this is this lovely tool, but it's a really, really soft one. So what I did, I just took a section like this, just wrinkle it up, just half a page, so I think probably to about here. Let me just cut this off. Do with my fabric scissors really. Let's go all the way down. That back up there. I don't need all of this. Let's just take the middle page. Put those on there. Now this colour goes really well, doesn't it? With the beautiful little roses. So all I did is like wrinkle it up. So we need to be, I don't know, say there. Let's cut down from here. Okay, perfect. this on. So I'm going to just, probably don't even need all of this actually. Move those bits out. Yes, I do. Going to cut a little bit more off, I think. I don't want to waste it. I don't want a whole load of it on here. So let's see, what shall I do? I'm going to cut a little bit more off. Just a little section. Because then those bits make lovely little bows. Gosh, I hope I'm not getting another croaky throat. Right, so that's what I did. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew this on like that, just down this side and along here to that end there. And then we can start sewing little buttons and bits on there. Pop those out of the way. Bring in the sewing machine. Can you see? I think you can see. Okay, well, I'm going to try and follow that line down there. So this, just so we can put that on. And then as I go, I'm just going to sort of like wrinkle it up just so it gets to the bottom. Do you know what I mean? So we're level at the bottom. Okay. Probably not easy to see actually for me sewing this netting, but might be a bit better when it's sort of gathered up. It's a little bit darker. So what I'm going to do, we want to go, this is like the middle bit, so I don't want to go any further than that. So let's just wrinkle this up a little bit. Where's the end there? Now, did I catch it? I don't think I caught it quite there, did I? Think. Oh, I think it should be all right because I will ruche it up a little bit, I think. So let's just snip those little bits off. So what I'm going to do, just going to take these. I love this stuff. It's just so soft. So what I'm going to do is just gather these little bits like this. This bit I quite like sort of like hanging down like that. Perfect. So I'm just going to get a needle and cotton. We need a little bit of pink, don't we? Just give me 2 seconds. Okay, I've got a little bit of pink here, which I think will work. Let me get a needle, thread my needle, which I'm not very good at. There we go. This is quite a big needle. Let's find the end. So you can either sew these little ruchy bits in, or you can and sew buttons on at the same time, or do it separately. What shall I do? Probably easier if I found some buttons, wouldn't it? Just pop that. Let's pop that on there for a second. I've got this little pot, which I don't think are the right colours. But let's see. We could have a little red one. That's quite nice, isn't it? A little white one. Sort of creamy colour ones. Could do with some little sort of pearly ones actually. Let's put these in. Oops. But the other thing I can do is just clip on some little safety pins and things like that. So let's just start. I quite like that nice, this sort of red one. So let's just ruche some of this up like that. It doesn't really matter how you do it. There we go. Pop on your button. You need to turn it around like this. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Let's go through. Nice little bit of hand stitching, and I think this is what makes your journals and stuff unique, isn't it? By doing sort of like little things like this that, you know, it's only your work, if you know what I mean. It's just adding these little finishing touches and stuff like that that I think makes your journals really, really pretty. Okay, let's just turn it around this way. Did that go through? Oh no, it didn't, did it? There we go. Just tie it off at the back. Oops. What else can we pop on here? Got little, you could actually probably stick some little diamante little bits on here as well. Depends how blingy you want your journal, doesn't it? Chop that off. Look at that. And then you can come back down here and do another one sort of here. Let's tie a little knot in here if I can. Where was I going to put that? Like that, I think. I'm not the best at sewing. Oops, can you tell? Let's go through there. But it is quite therapeutic. You can sit there and sort of do a little bit of sewing. It's really nice. Okay, let's gather that up. That's in the right place, I think. Go back down. Let's turn around this way. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm sure you all know how to sew on a button. Not that I'm very good at it. Oops. Let's gather that up so I don't sew that. There we go. That's better. I'm not sure I'm in the right place even. Probably not. Okay, so you get the sort of gist of what I'm doing, don't you? just gathering these up. Let's go there. To catch that little bit. What does that look like? Look, I've got a great big lump piece of cotton there. Okay, we can sort that out afterwards, can't we? Let's go down. So yes, do take your time doing it. It's easy. You have to sew it to the page first, as you don't know where all your little buttons and bits are going to be. So it's a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to finish this off, and then I will be back in 2 minutes when I've sewn the rest of them on, because I'm sure you don't want to sit there and watch me sewing lots of buttons on. So I will be 2 seconds. Okay, so I have sewn a couple of little bits and pieces on there, and I've stuck a little diamante, and I've just glue gunned it up there because this one is a little bit loose. I glue gunned this little section there, and I think I'm going to just pull this a little bit tight and just glue that on there. Look, I've added a little pair of scissors on there as well, which I think is lovely. So I'm going to get my glue gun, and I think I'm just going to glue a little bit there just to pull this a little bit tight, just so we don't have any sort of baggy bits on it. So let's just pop a little bit of glue on there, pull this across like that, and just sort of like stick that down like that. Can add something to that. Look at that, love it. I might add a little pin or something. Shall we add a little pin with a little bit of lace on it? Should I just cut a little bit of this off? What do you think? That might look quite nice, mightn't it? Little pin on here. What do you think? I don't know, I've got it caught now. Gosh. Let's just chop that off. Pop that there. Stick a little pin in there. And clip that up. Perfect. Look at that. Love it. Absolutely love it. So let's just try. Let's put a little postcard in there. So that's a really nice little pocket in there, isn't it? And I just think I love these little bits. So that's a little popper thing, little buttons on there, diamante, little pin on there, pair of scissors. Love it, absolutely love it. So I think that is lovely. So this will go in here. Actually, what I might do is just, shall I sew along here? Should I sew something? What did I do? I actually sewed a little ruffly bit along there. Shall I do that quickly? Let's get rid of these little bits. Let me cut a piece of this. Actually, I might cut 2. Let's cut that one, and then just so we've got enough to do like a little ruffle just along the top piece. Right, let's move some of my stuff out of the way. Pop that over there. Again, I need a bigger table. Oh, somebody asked about my sewing machine. So I'll pop the link to it underneath the video, but this extra piece comes with the machine. It's obviously detachable, but oh God, it makes such a difference, and it's amazing. I absolutely love it. It really does make a difference. It's just that extra piece on there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of these, just pop this, oops, and just ruffle it, wrinkle it up as I go along. It's a little bit big, but it should be okay. Let me just take my awl and just, what I normally do is just push this. Just pop this. I can always cut some of it off. It might be a little bit too big. We'll see. Just wrinkle it up. Just push it underneath the needle, but just be really careful that you don't stick your awl under there. Let's get another piece. Pop that. Touch that in. Just push it along so it's nice and wrinkly. I cut 3 pieces. Let's stick that piece in. There we go. Perfect, look at that, love it. Let's chop these little bits off. Gosh, this thread almost looks black, doesn't it? I think I might have to change it. I think it might be a little bit too dark. Look at that, loving it. That's the back of it. That's the other pages. Let's just trim that little bit off. But I think that looks really, really pretty. So once it's in here, this is the middle page. Pop that in there like that. And I think once we've got one of our postcards, well, we don't have to put a postcard in it, we can pop a little booklet in it, can't we? Or something. I just think that's quite a nice big-ish pocket to pop stuff in. Nothing too heavy, but just enough to pop that in. Love it. So that's our lovely middle page. Do you think we've done enough for today? What should we do? I do love this. Having such fun doing this journal. Lovely. Shall we make... I think I'll leave it there for today because I think that's probably quite a long video, and then I will figure out what we need to do in here as well. I may make some other little bits and pieces to go in there, but love it, absolutely love it. I've got an extra piece of this somewhere in my little folio. There we go. There we go. This is it, so I'll add this one so it goes this way. Oh, so we don't want it in that one, do we? We want it in this one. So where should we pop it? In here, like that. Perfect. Okay guys, so I'm going to leave it there. So we've done a few little bits and pieces, so you've had a little look through this now. So you know basically what I am doing, adding in obviously the Friday freebies and bits that we got. So I'm going to add into the other two similar to what we're doing. Figure out which I'm going to do 2 or 3 signatures in there, depending on how fat they are. Loving that. So we did a few little bits today. And of course these just fit in there perfect, don't they? Just lovely. I will get all the rest of the embellishments because I've got little buttons and everything. Look, I've got all these to cut out that we can add on as well. So I'm going to get all my other bits and pieces together, and then we will keep going. So I will do this. I want to do one every night this week. And then I want to get this finished because I've got the book lovers journal to do as well, so I'm all excited about doing that. So loving them. So there we go guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Have a fantastic rest of the day. take care, stay safe, and I will see you soon. All right, guys, bye-bye.